And record. Okay, welcome guys.
I want to show y'all. Deidre and I have been prepping notes for about an hour and a half now, and we have so many notes that we actually have another team Zoom planned for next Tuesday, right, Deidre?
Yeah. Yes, November 1st, 9 p.m.
Yeah, so we're gonna save some of it for then, just so we don't completely just overwhelm everyone. But we're going to start out, we have like our tips numbered. And so you want me to just do number 1 and then I'll switch over to, I'll give you number 2?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So basically I just wanted to start out with, so Deidre and I, we got home Sunday afternoon from California. We got to go to an all expense paid trip. It's called the Leadership Retreat. You have to be a 5-star or above. And we qualified for this trip. And so it was amazing. It was probably both of our favorite trips. You know, long story short, it's hard for both of us to leave just because, you know, we do have kids and we are sisters and we share the same babysitter and, you know, it's hard. But at the same time, this is a full-time job for Deidre and I. And so if we treat it as a hobby, then it's probably really easy to make those excuses. But the fact that it provides a full-time income and it's our full-time job, we have to treat it and invest some time back into it. So I wanted to start out with my favorite thing that our CEO was talking to us about, and that was just the fact that this year, you know, if you just signed up or if you're just a couple months in, this doesn't really pertain to you. It kind of does, but not really. But this year is a tough year for every marketing business. It is the election year and it was the year of the Olympics. And our CEO was saying how this is his second time in an 8-year, 9-year span to have to deal with an election year and an Olympic year. And he just was letting us know that both years in that 8-year span have been rough. And they've been, he's seen, you know, it's more of a struggle to get people to commit and to get, you know, people are unsure of their money or what's going to happen with taxes or what's going to happen with their job security. And so people just are putting themselves more on the back burner. And because we are a health and fitness company and what we offer is totally just something that, you know, a woman with 3 kids, 4 kids, 5 kids might say, I'll put myself first next year when we have a little bit more savings. And so, you know, it was just great to hear that because, you know, what we do, it is so rewarding, but at the same time, like, we have to realize that if you and your family are struggling with money, then so is, you know, another woman that, you know, would love this opportunity, but she just might not be ready just yet. So that doesn't mean that you quit on her. It doesn't mean you give up on her. It just means that she'll be coming to you because she's going to follow your consistency and she's going to follow your positive light on such a negative world. And she's going to, when she's ready, she's going to come to you. So I just wanted to touch on that for a second. So our second topic is what's in the box and trust, Deidre.
So I'm going to give you guys a little story. I'm going to try to make it condensed that Carl Deichler, which is our CEO of our company, shared. And he has shared it more than once. And actually, a coach there asked him to tell it to us because he had done it for, I guess, a call of hers. Anyway, so years ago, I'm just going to tell it like I'm pretending.
Yeah, go a little shorter.
It's going to be hard. So anyway, you've been asked to sell this box, and you've been told if you can sell 10 boxes, and then that person can sell 10 boxes, and that person can sell 10 boxes, then you can earn 6 figures in 6 months. Okay, so you're like, hey, seriously, that's it? 10 people? I can do it. So you start and you go, you sell your 10. You tell them, you get on board. They're like, I can make 6 figures in 6 months. Yes, I'm doing it. 6 figures, you know, like, okay, so all these people they're buying these 10 boxes and they've got these 10 boxes. And one day somebody walks into the garage and they see these 10 boxes stacked up there and they're like, hey man, cool, you're selling something, you're working for that company. So what's in that box? And the guy stops and says, I don't know, you know, whatever, nothing. The point is that company is strictly just sales. Get to as many people as you can. Don't worry. You don't have to be passionate about it. Just sell. And he said, you know, that is never going to be what we are about. We are about what is inside that box. When you get your box in your door, inside of it is hope and dreams and goals and feeling amazing. And you have what you need to like live this most satisfying, fulfilled life, you know, if you're willing to take that in. And so we have belief in our box. I mean, it could be a physical, whatever. We are not a pyramid scheme. We are not selling empty promises. Like, we literally have legit programs, products, supplements. I mean, skincare line. We have so many products that I don't even probably know all of the products that we have, but we are not selling an empty box. We aren't. We're not salespeople. We are real people sharing and selling our story and our commitment and our love for what is in that box. And we have a lot of things to talk about that are going to tie into that. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but you know, you have to believe in that box. You have to believe in Shakeology and believe in our programs and trust in those things. And the only way that you can do that is if you immerse yourself in that and you really do believe. Because if you don't, if you're faking it, if you aren't doing the workouts and on and on and on, then you're going to be selling people empty boxes. And then you're going to be a salesman pushing empty boxes. And that's just not what we are. So that's was short and condensed of his story, I think. Hopefully I got that right.
No, that was right. I'm actually going to, because of like the vibe I was feeling from that, I'm going to skip forward a couple of our points and talk about how do you respond to people. This is kind of a couple points in one, but if your business isn't working, and if, you know, like this is a couple of things that we heard at Summit, they were kind of hard to hear, and it was kind of, you know, it was a gut check, and it was like, you know, it's kind of like going to counseling and your counselor tells you something and it just slaps you across the face and it's what you need to hear. You know, it's good, positive criticism. And sometimes you know, it's not always easy to be that person that gives the criticism, but, you know, maybe if you can just give it to yourself and think about your own business. So how do you respond to people? If someone messages you and you just kind of half-ass answer and you're not, like, your excitement doesn't bleed through a post. I mean, just think about the fact that if it's a message back and forth, me personally, that's not personable. I like to hear the excitement in someone's voice. I like to feed off of their, like, what they're saying. And Carl said, our CEO said, get people on the phone. Like, if you can get people on the phone, you can explain your passion about what's in that box. And it's so true. Anytime I get someone on the phone, even if I'm having a hard day or I'm tired or Finn's crying in the background, like, they can hear my passion through the phone. And I know that's what helps my business. And because I truly believe in what's in the box. So, you know, if your business hasn't been working or you feel like you just can't get people to connect, go through and read your messages. If you want to send me your messages and if you're okay for some constructive criticism, I'll be honest with you. But, you know, just it's in your posting, it's in your messages back to people. If you're not sharing your passion and getting it through in, you know, a post, then you need to pop in with some live videos every now and then, or you need to, you know, show your passion as much as you can, because in this world, this day and age, with social media so jam-packed with everything that people are trying to sell or do or whatever, the only thing that's going to make you stand out is your passion. And so really, really think about how are you, Tiffany just messaged, am I missing a link? If someone will write her back and say it's posted, please. If someone, I mean, if you will just focus on your passion first and, you know, even when you're not sure if you're going to hit your Success Club goal, even if you're not sure if this is going to take you twice as long as you thought it would to have a solid income coming in, you can't let those people read that off of you. You can't let it be that they're wondering if you even think it's going to work. And if you're one of those people that 1 month you're on, 1 month you're off, the next month you're back on, what are you telling to your people? Like, there's no trust. They don't have trust in you because you're so back and forth on your social media. And I'm not trying to make you feel bad because it's like it's in the past and all you can do is just be better from here on out. But if you're one of those people that posts a couple weeks and then you're off a couple weeks, like that's why your business is not growing, and that's why you're not moving forward, and you're not hitting Success Club, and you're not, growing a solid team. My favorite quote is, what you do now impacts you 2 to 3-ish months in the future. And so right now, if your business is not doing well, I want you to think back to what you were doing 2 to 3 months ago. Were you even posting? Were you talking to anyone? Were you sharing your journey? Were you doing a program? Because if you weren't, that's why. Even if you've posted every day this week, people need to trust you, and they're just like, oh, she's back. Okay, well, like they follow you more than you know. And I actually had a new coach at my house today, and it was literally the cutest thing ever because she walked into my house and she was like, oh yeah, I saw when you got that new piece of carpet. And then she walked into my bedroom and she was like, oh yeah, like she just knew my life. And I was literally giggling because those little minute posts that aren't significant, they're not going to make a sell. They're letting people in on my life. And she knew everything about my life. And from every post I've ever posted, like she has studied for me for years, literally since I started. And she just now decided, okay, I'm going to try this. And so it's like, if I wouldn't have shared about the new carpet I bought for Finn, and if I wouldn't have shared about when he got his teeth or whatever, like she's not even a mom, but she related to my story and she related to everything that I've shared. And so that's the same thing with you. I know we say it all the time, but like if you're not consistent, people are not going to consistently join your team. So then let's talk about year-end resolutions.
So, kind of that's pretty simple. It's self-explanatory. A ton of people make New Year's resolutions, but they've kind of gone through this whole holiday season, like waiting for January. Why do we do that? It's kind of like, why are we waiting for a new year? Like we still have 2.5 months of the year we're in, of the time that we're in. Like the future isn't guaranteed. It's like, why are we waiting for that? And so he was just saying, if we can get people fired up about their life now, talking about like what we're not going to wait for January. In January, we're going to be making, new goals, harder goals, like going all in on something, whatever. We're already going to be that far ahead and step up the game. And to start talking about end of year resolutions and what you wanted to get done. Like, what did you think about last year in January? What did you promise yourself you were going to do this year? And now it's October. Have you done them? Have you done any of them? Like, what were those goals that you set? And this is personal and business wise. It can be any area of your life. Like, what are things that you said last year? Weight loss is always the number one New Year's resolutions, but we make different things. And so it's like, even think about those non-weight loss things. You can think about those, but start sharing and bringing those things up in like breadcrumbing post. And then when you are going to host a challenge group, you can say like, okay, I want to finish this year feeling like a badass. I want to finish this year proud of myself that I was able to come back from a hard year, from struggles, from all of these X, Y, and Z things that happened to me this year. I'm going to come back and I'm going to end this year on a high and a positive note and start 2017 even more excited about life, and on and on and on.
And it's kind of it's back to, you signed up to be a health and fitness coach. And as hard as that might be to swallow it sometimes, like when it is the end of the year and you feel like just laxing off and you're tired and you're, whatever, like this last quarter, if as an entrepreneur, like this is your most important quarter. And hearing those top coaches saying that they work harder in the last quarter than they do any other month of the year, it was so awesome to hear, because it's like, all right, like, let's do this. Let's go. And if you don't, I'm going to tell you, when January comes and you think that, oh, everyone's going to be ready because it's the new year, they're not, because you're going to have to think 2 to 3 months back what you were doing. And if you weren't doing what you needed to be doing as a supporter and a motivator and an encourager, you're not going to have anyone want to start something with you because they're going to just be wondering when you're going to be gone again. I mean, people are following you, and even if they just come to your page today, like, what do you want someone that meets you on social media today, what do you want them to learn about you from here until a week from now? Like, what do you want them to learn through your posts? What do you want them to gather that you've struggled with? How are they going to connect and relate with you versus someone else that they see on their social media? I mean, it's the compound effect. And I actually gave my new coach the compound effect book today because it's like, January is not going to be amazing unless you put in the hard work now. And January has the potential to be amazing because so many more people are more serious at the beginning of a new year. But I'll tell you right now, like, I am a pretty normal girl and I want to feel good in November and December. And so I know there's other girls out there just like me that are willing to work and fight to feel confident at holiday parties and New Year's parties. And a lot of people have weddings at the end of the year. Like, there are reasons for people to fight. There, not everyone's just going to be MIA and vacant. I promise you.
And
okay, so
you can definitely get and it's like, you might have less people now commit. You know, you might, instead of, if you're normally getting 5 people, you might have 3, but I guarantee you, like, those people that are committing now are going to be all in, like, badasses. So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, quality over quantity. Like, you want
even if you don't sell one thing for the rest of the year, people are going to be watching you, and when they are ready, when it's their time, they're going to come to you because they're going to have taken your advice and your support, and they're going to have seen you struggle. And that's just, it's bottom line. I mean, it's so easy for people to, I mean, most people in the holiday season are like drinking and covering up with blankets and jackets. And if they see you sweating and working your ass off, they're going to be so motivated and encouraged and moved by you on social media. Just, that's the way it is. So our next topic was helping people achieve their goals. Okay, so Deidre and I are in a room with the top, let's say, 300 coaches of the entire company. I mean, it was very moving to see these women that we've idolized for years, there in the same seats, just right by us. And it was funny hearing this topic at Summit, but it's because it's so easy to compare. It's so easy to think, I want to make 6 figures. I want to be a top coach. I want to whatever. That is all shiny, materialistic things that is not the true mission statement of our company. It's not the backbone of our company. What Carl said was, he feels like the reason why some leaders have, you know, really kind of been wondering about their business, they've kind of like slowed down, as he said, they joined and they had this huge income potential, you know, just right off the bat. And then they completely changed their fundamentals on what they were doing. And they just only thought about the money and they didn't think about helping people. And then why did they slow down? Well, because they weren't helping people anymore. And so no matter what your check is, it doesn't matter. Like, the reason we do this job, the reason why we coach, is to be coaches and to run amazing challenge groups, to be the person that has before after pictures of challengers. Like, you're not trying to just throw some people, herd some cattle into a challenge group and be like, okay, let me schedule my post and I'm done. Like, no, absolutely not. I mean, absolutely not. Like, that is why you're not going to succeed at this business. Like, your challenge group has got to be your bread and butter. And we were around a lot of coaches that aren't even running active challenge groups anymore. And they're disappointed in the way that their challenge groups are. And it was so awesome to be Deidre, which our challenge groups aren't perfect, but like, we do consistently try. And it's like, you know, be that coach that doesn't care about rank and shiny objects. Be that coach that wants to help someone lose 30 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever it is. Like, that is what matters. And that's what's going to make you stand out as a coach.
As a side note, though, it's okay to have income goals and rank goals and to want to grow a business. Those things are okay. And he did, you know, he was like, but those things aren't going to happen if you're not doing our mission statement. So, you know, of course, like, income has always been one of, my biggest drivers and goals. And, you guys all know that. I'm not going to stop pushing for income goals, but I know in my heart, I know that my true being and like everything that I'm thinking and doing, I know that if I'm helping people and if I'm sharing and if I'm being proof of the product and I'm doing these things, I know those will come. It might not come in the time frame that I wanted, or I might not hit the exact date, but I'm not going anywhere. And what matters the most is that, am I helping people reach their goals? So, it's okay to have different to have different goals. We're not saying that you have to sit here and say, oh, I don't care if I make a penny. I mean, of course we know income is important to a lot of us, but if it's your only focus, then you definitely won't get there. Okay, so it's flashing at me low battery, which holy shit.
So I didn't write this down as a note, but I just remembered it, and it was so awesome. So are you signing customers and coaches, and are they transactional or are they transformational? And like saying that over and over, it's so true. Like, are you signing a customer because you see them as a success club point? Because if you are, you are a transactional coach. You want some commission. You don't know their goals. You don't know where they came from. You don't know what they struggle with, their insecurities. They're not going to make it far. They're not going to order more shakes. They're never going to open their program. You don't want to be a transactional coach, which I really don't feel like we have transactional coaches on our team, but it's just always good to kind of get that, wake up call. And you want to be a transformational coach. You want to listen to people, and you want to know, like, if they're a week into their challenge group, you want to know their goals and their mini goals and their long-term goals. And you want to know where they're at so you can constantly be pushing them and making them show up and helping them reach their goals. Their goals, it's not just about weight. It's literally about being confident and feeling healthy and feeling just sexy in front of your husband. And like nothing beats that. I mean, it's just so awesome. So always remember, you want to be a transformational coach. So our next topic was, we're going to talk all about challenge groups next week. We got a lot of fun little tips about different things to post in challenge groups to keep people interactive, which we wrote them all down. So we're excited about that. Another thing that is kind of for coaches that have been in this business a little bit longer, but I like this because it's building a solid team. And I like this mindset because instead of building people that just want to get rich quick, because that's not us, we're not It Works. So I like the thought of, when you're posting on your platform, 50% of it should be, I know we all know this, like try to post 5 to 10 different areas of your life that you enjoy. But when another percentage is 50% of that should be marketed towards your new challengers or your potential challengers, or, people that are going to be in a challenge group. And 50% of your post should be to your team. So like I was just onto Deidre's butt, and I was like, Deidre, you never post about your struggles. Like, you're up at 5 freaking a.m. every morning. You have 3 kids. You should be sleeping right now. Like, you're exhausted. Go share that. Like, you could be sitting on the couch watching TV. Like, it doesn't always have to be shiny and bright and beautiful. Like, sometimes it can just be honest and truthful. And honestly, if it wasn't for this job, I would be sitting next to Jared watching some sports, completely having no purpose of my own other than to sit there, like, which is fine. I know that's fine, but like, I want more than that. I'm made for more than that. And so, share that.
Why that's important is because if you're only sharing about the good, and I was sitting there thinking, I'll get to this in a second, but like, wow, like, yeah, I never thought of it actually about for my team. Like, when I do post a post like that, I'm thinking about like for my future coaches. Like, I want them to know that there's work involved, but I don't do it enough, and it's definitely something I'm going to work on. But why it's so important to the coaches you already have is because they're watching you too a lot of times, unless they've maybe unfollowed all of their coaches or whatever, but especially new coaches. And if you already have a coach signed up and And then, they're continuing to follow your journey, and their insight to your day is following you on social media, and you never post about all of the work you're putting in. Then in their mind, they're thinking they're doing great, or they're thinking that they are working, or they're thinking that they're doing enough, but really they have no idea what you're doing behind the scenes. So sharing that insights. And I started seeing this a couple of weeks ago. I follow a few guy coaches. I think I started following them back when Brian was kind of doing this. But anyway, they both are posting live videos, like live coaching training videos on their personal page. And I'm like, so taken back by this. I'm like, okay, I think I shared the one where he literally was describing his downline on a live video on his personal page, not in a group, not in a training. And I'm like, wow, he's literally letting everybody see this. But that's so amazing for future people. It shows future people that are like business builders and that do think about this and that they want to know like our compensation plan. They are doing research about how our program is set up. Those people, if you're showing them an insight to that without even like having to like answer a question about it, or them having like, you're giving them that information. So anyway,
I'm not following. I think you're being very vague. Like, what are you saying you want them to?
Okay. So this one guy who's been an elite coach for like 4 years, he straight up posted a live video on his personal page describing how he builds his downline. Like literally had the legs drawn with the circles, with the arrows, and like did a 10-minute video on how him and his wife have their businesses set up, and actually talked about strong leg and weak leg, which I'm not comfortable sharing that on my personal page, but he's been a coach for like 7 or 8 years. And I think at this point, his organization is so big. And if he has that mindset where I want to show 50% to my coaches, and there's no way he can really talk to all of his organization. That's just another way to share those insights. I don't know. My point is just that I've been seeing other coaches do that, and I didn't know why until this weekend when they said 50% is your customers, 50% is your coaches.
That's all like really far in the future. But I mean, my point is like to show that it's not always easy, and to show that you do put in work, and it is 9 o'clock, 9:30, and you're not just sleeping, you're working. And I saw a post from Anna Wishkeeper earlier about she worked all day and now she's plugging into her second job. And like, that's so true and raw and real, because most people don't have a purpose outside of their full-time job, or they don't have a purpose, at night. It's just like kids go to bed and, well, I guess I'll just go to sleep. I mean, we do have purpose and we have potential to help people. So I mean, share those types of things.
No, I know.
So, okay. So the last thing that we were going to talk about was a main bulk of leadership, which was the release of Core Day Force. And Deidre and I aren't going to talk about this for a long time right now, just because we did an hour-long live video Saturday night at Leadership. So if you didn't watch that, we really want you to go watch that, because that explains a lot about Core Day Force. But what we talked about so much at Leadership was capitalizing on a release of a new program and milking that and using that to help your business, using that to find people that are in a slump and they need something different. And, this program, it's new to all of us. I mean, I've never completed it, neither have you. So it's like I can give people better tips than you can. We're all doing this together. And so the best way to sell a program like this is by doing it literally day to day and sharing your journey, and someone to see a workout clip and be like, I think I would enjoy those moves, or I think like that meal plan looks like something I could do. And another really big tip I recommend for newer coaches that are on is please be vague in your posts. Please do not hashtag Core Day Force and hashtag Beachbody and hashtag Shakeology. If you do, that's your opinion. I'm not going to tell you, but like my opinion is to be more vague, and I agree with like owning what you work with, but I also really agree with setting up some suspense in your post so people actually have to comment, and so people actually have to message you. If you give it all away in your post, you're not going to get near as much interaction. And I firmly believe that. So, you know, whenever you do the Core de Force workouts, share about it. And we've decided to change our word to document. And I was talking today about Snapchat, and it's like, Snapchat is just like snap this, snap this, snap this. And you think that you're annoying people, but I promise you, you're not. Like, people want to know, what does it take to live a healthy lifestyle? I want in on her life. I got to know what she's doing. I got to know what she's up to, because if she can do it, then maybe I can do it. I don't have Snapchat, so, you know, that's not my thing. But if you do, utilize that, and utilize, you know, all of your sharing, and just letting people see that, well, picking my kid up in the car line. Well, I'm going to go get my workout done, even though I worked all day. Like, just the truth of your day, and not only the good, you know, that happens, but the bad and the ugly too. And so those are I'm not sure if this is right or not, but I heard that we're not having a new release until Summit. And that's something that Deidre and I both were really, and we could be wrong. It might be February, but no, it's not. I know it's not February, so it might be March, but we heard Summit, which is July. And so what that means is, someone said, if you're upset about that, then suck it up, because that's the way it is. So I'm not upset about it, because I want my following to see me complete Core de Force. You know, 1, 2, Deidre wants to do it 3 times in a row. I'm not saying you have to do that, but just getting 60-day results. I mean, this is a 30-day program, which, just imagine if you had 60-day results. Like, just showing your following some new content and some new material for them to really think, okay, I need to do this. I need to use this.
And this is my takeaway on doing it long term, is that I know as coaches, we feel obligated to do a lot of the programs so that we have knowledge and we feel comfortable talking about them. But sometimes constantly switching, 21 Day Fix, Body Beats, and you're constantly switching, you're getting before and after, and like, you're doing amazing, but also you're not giving enough time in that one for people to like stop and notice that you're doing it. I don't know.
We're totally guilty of that too.
Oh no, I do one, and then I'm like, what am I going to do next? I don't want to repeat that same one. I don't want to be bored, whatever. But what we're telling people that too. We're telling people that our programs are boring, that we can only do them for 21 days or 30 days. And then we want to move on, that we have to have this variety, basically, that we're ADHD. It's like, you guys, like, I'm so like, I think that's why they did this, because back in the day, they didn't release all of these programs every other month. It was like one, and then months later, it was another one. We had so much less content and less material, and some people might have complained to that, but other people, like P90X was the only program for like 5 freaking years, and people loved that program. So, it's like, that's why I'm committing to 90 days, because I just want to show people. I've had some local people that used to do Beachbody actually tell me, just in a honest conversation, they were like, we just feel like a 30-day challenge isn't lifelong. And I was like, oh, that's what you're getting from me. Like, that's not, and this was somebody that signed up with somebody else years ago, and I didn't know, but like, yeah, I don't want to be the person that they think like, oh, after 30 days, that's it, I'm supposed to have like this fit, healthy life. Like, that's not true. So I like the idea of like extending it to long term and just showing kind of that constant thing. But anyway, I think that's why 21 Day Fix has been it for 2.5 years, because that's the one that gave people such good results, and they could keep repeating it and feel like they were constantly starting and finishing, take a weekend off and keep rolling back into round 2, round 3, round 4. So it's nice that it's only 30 days, but then you can start a second round. So, you're doing the same thing. Does anybody have any questions or something, like maybe we talked about a little bit on the other day, or maybe from a live video this weekend, but you want us to touch on a little bit more? We have just like 3 minutes left. Anybody? So I'll say a little bit about my mindset if y'all don't. So before we went, I was kind of feeling down. Just want to be really honest. Like, I kind of just was feeling like I haven't been a great, I don't know, I'm just I'm very hard on myself. I'm like, I'm not a great leader and I'm not doing this and I could be better at this. And I don't know if I'm worthy of going to this leadership retreat. Like, I don't feel like a leader. I'm a normal person. I'm just here. I don't feel like I should have this, this credit that you guys really earned, for us. Anyway, sitting there and listening to all of the things that they're saying that we should be doing, I just want to say I was really proud of our team and I was really proud of myself. I feel like, I know I am working out and I'm drinking my shake and I am documenting and, I'm doing the best that I can. So I kind of felt a little pressure off. Like they kind of was like, you have to own your own business. Like I can't make any of my coaches do anything that's their business. And so it kind of took that pressure off of that standpoint. But also like, there were so many things that I want to change or, do. But the thing is that I know that we're going to do them. I know that like we're a team that like we set goals and we talk about things and we like take action on them. So I'm proud to be a part of this team. And I know that we have so many people, like everybody that's on, like, thank you for getting on and taking your time and like showing up with us. Like we know that your heart is here. And we might not all have reached our goals or be exactly where we want to be, but I feel like we're on that train to get there. Like if we continue and we stay consistent and we stay true to our passion and our mission and we keep going for those things, like I know we will get there and we will all get to the goals that we want. So I left feeling really happy and at peace and just so proud to be with you guys. So thank you for getting on. And
okay, just to wrap it up and then we'll hang up. Okay. So I said this in our live call the other day, but I'm going to say it again. So we're all on the same highway. What scene do you want to look out your car window and see? Do you want to keep going and hope for brighter, beautiful scenery, or do you want to exit and go back to shit still? That's like my favorite quote ever because it's like